Okay, next question.
Yeah, I have a question. I like to vet the prospective buyers. If they're individuals, I like to ask for a letter of credit or financial statements. If it's a corporation, I'll go through the Secretary of State and find out their status as to the UCC stuff there. What about private equity firms? How can I vet them? I ask them when they inquire about something and ask them for the letter of credit, say, we're a private equity firm. We have $100 million. Well, I want to vet and make sure that they have the $100 million before I start disclosing confidential information of my client to a interested private equity firm. So how do I vet private equity firms?
Yeah, that's a challenge. That was a great question, Lou. And that's always a challenge, because I think that private equity group, PEG, that term is used by so many different people, and it's called, I think the first question I ask them is, are you funded or are you fundless? Because if they're funded, then they already have the money, then great. But if they're fundless, then they're really a bird dog, in my opinion, looking to find a business, and then they're going to have to go shop and find an investor for it that's got the money. And so that's, that can turn out to be a colossal waste of time sometimes. So yeah, I usually just ask them, are you funded or are you fundless? You're mute, Lou.
Thank you, Tanya. That was great. I like that.
Okay. All right. Good. I do not make PEGs show proof of funds because they usually won't. And even, so even if they're funded, sometimes they're funded, they're considered funded, but what that means is that they have signed subscriptions where the money is not actually in the bank, but they do have signed subscriptions from their investors in that fund, so that all they have to do is send some type of a call. So they're not going to necessarily be able to show you a bank statement that, let's say they have $100 million fund. They're not going to be able to show you a bank statement that shows $100 million on it, because they're not going to put that kind of thing in the bank. But what they may do, what they'll more than likely do, is have subscriptions that have been signed by their various investors, where all they have to do is place a call, and that person will wire, $1 million or $2 million or whatever they subscribe to, so that they just send out call notices when they're going to make the acquisition, and all of those subscribers have already committed to it. So at that point, they just wire the funds.